Hello and welcome to Mochi Doki Mochi, episode 17. This is a manga and anime podcast hosted by me, Seiji. Yes, so this is episode 17. In the last episode, I spoke about watching Happy Marriage and also Hell's Paradise. Aside from that, I also spoke about some of the manga that I was looking into, mostly the manga that 3 years ago I was reading at the time, and then I kind of quit. I took a bit of a break, and now coming back, I've just been trying to get familiarized with where I was reading wise in terms of manga. So now the spring 2026 anime season has launched, and I'm not one to actually watch on a weekly basis. I really like to just watch everything in one go, but there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. So usually at the start of a season, I will go to MAL, my anime list. I'll look at everything that's coming out, and then I'll pick things to watch, maybe the first 2-3 episodes, and then if I like it, I'll set it aside and then watch it once the entire season is done. And then sometimes, in rare cases, I will actually watch it on a weekly basis. Yes, so I have looked a bit into the new season, and I wrote down a list of the things that I was actually quite interested in. So I'll go through that first. In terms of reading manga, I haven't really done that the past couple of weeks. I've actually been trying to figure out the best way to do that. So I have, okay, so kind of a bit of a detour. I have been looking at Bookwalker, of course, the Japanese website, because that's the place where I just generally get my Japanese manga, or manga that is untranslated, or manga that has been translated, but I'm trying to say that's the place that I go to read manga in Japanese, just because it's digital and it makes it quite easy. But I do have one point that I want to get back to about that, so maybe I should write that down first. And I also have this European faction faction of Shonen Jump, I believe, on my phone. It's an app where you can read a lot of manga for free. That's actually how I found out about Akane-banashi. I think that's how this manga is called, which I'll be talking about later. But yes, so I have that app, and then I also found out about K-manga, which is, I think, a fairly new-ish app, and it has a lot of features that are similar to the Japanese manga apps that are out there online. So it has this way of, well, you can read manga on the app, and usually the first 3 chapters are for free, and then you need to get tickets or coins in order to unlock other chapters. Tickets are quite easy to get. You can get them by just watching advertisements and also just opening the app every single day. And then you have coins, and those I'm pretty sure you have to pay for. So that's kind of a standard, how a standard manga magazine app is set up in Japan as well. And I think it's a good initiative. Well, at least I don't know how well the app is doing, but I think it's nice to have manga that might not be able to get, how would I say this, an English translation in print just yet, that people can kind of dip their toes into that just via an app. So I got this app a couple of days ago. I haven't used it just yet, but one of the titles that I'm really excited about is Fatal Game from Battan, who is one of my favorite mangakas. She wrote, what's the name again in Japanese? something ane to tsurui imoto. It's about two sisters. I don't know if I mentioned this in the other episode, but I'll just say it again so in case I've already said it. So it's a manga about two sisters and they have never gotten along with each other. The younger sister usually would take everything from the older sister, and at one point the older sister has a boyfriend who she really likes, and the sister manages to take that one as well. And that's kind of the breaking point for the older sister, and so they stop talking, and then 8 years later the younger sister is now married to that boyfriend, and the older sister is just kind of living her life. Their mother passes away and they meet again. The older sister is thinking about moving into the mother's old house, but she finds that her sister has already taken up that space. And so what happens eventually is that they all end up staying in that place altogether, and it's really messy and it's a fun manga. Would highly recommend. I'm pretty sure, that there is an English translation of it out now. But Fatal Game, I believe it is a josei manga. It's about two women. It's one who is a mangaka. She was known for a particular manga called To Hell and Back. But since then, not really much has been going on until she meets this editor who is very interesting. However, it seems that this editor has a secret. So, I heard that it's josei girls love, but I'll just have to see for myself. Very interested in that. I've read a lot of Battan's work and I like it a lot. So very excited about that. Yes, so we have Bookwalker, we have K-manga, we have the European Shonen Jump, and then I have the American, Irish, and available in other countries manga app website, Viz. It's from Viz Media. So Viz, I remember about 3 years ago I had a subscription there and I had to use a VPN to access it. So basically you would pay $2 a month and then you could read about 100 chapters of manga per day, which is something that generally one would not be able to do. So it's almost unlimited. Yes, so you would pay $2 a month and then you could you could read the manga. And yeah, I quit that subscription because I wasn't reading all that much. But now I try to reinstate it, and oh my gosh, it was so hard. It was really hard because I remember the last time that I did this, I just did it via PayPal on the internet, just on my computer. But when I tried to resubscribe, they said that I had to do that via my phone. So you have to, in order to access in order to get the subscription for the website on one's computer, you have to get the subscription on your phone, which meant that I had to change my app store from the Netherlands to Ireland, because Ireland, this manga is available there as well. And I couldn't put my PayPal information in my, or the app wouldn't work with my PayPal information on the Irish app store. So what I had to do was I had to download the app, then switch back to the Netherlands, then pay for the subscription. And it turned out that actually with the Viz subscription of $2, you actually can't read everything. And that really sucked because I specifically wanted to read this manga called #DRCL. It's Dracula, basically. #Dracula with all the vowels taken out. And it's by this mangaka that I've seen their work all about the interwebs, and I was really interested in trying this out because I love horror. Let me look up the mangaka's name. Oh, I am so unprepared for this time around. Yeah, so it's called #DRCL Midnight Children, and it is made by Shinichi Sakamoto, and he has also done Innocent Rouge. Yes, that's the one that piqued my interest, and also Innocent. His style is so incredibly interesting. So I was really interested in that. And also, one second. A couple of weeks ago, I went to visit my mother and I picked up this Puffin Classics edition of Dracula by Bram Stoker that I had still laying there in one of my bookcases. So I was already in the mood for Dracula, and then I saw this manga and I thought, oh, yes, I want to read this as well. So yes, I had to do so much work in order to get that Viz subscription, and then once I got it, I tried to read the manga, and then it gave me no access, and then apparently I had to get they have a Viz Media subscription and a Shonen Jump subscription, and #DRCL was part of that subscription. So I had to cancel Viz, go back to the Irish Apple Store, get the Shonen Jump one, go back, and then pay for the Shonen Jump one. And that one is actually a bit more expensive. That one is about $4 a month. So double the price. So I got that, and then I was ready. I was in bed. I wanted to just read it on my phone, and then they said I couldn't read it on my phone because it's an 18 plus manga. I have to read it on my computer, and that was kind of silly in my opinion. I didn't really understand why, but so I haven't read any of it, but yeah, it was a hassle just to get my hands on that. But I have checked, and all of the chapters are unlocked, so that's really fun. And I mean, there's so much fun manga there. I'm very excited to read. And also, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think part 7 came out a couple of months ago. I'm not too sure again, but I think, yeah, I've pretty much watched all of the parts except for this new one, and I have only read the first part. I used to have a physical copy of that, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is so good. I love the fashion. I love the magic system or fighting system. It's great. I love it so much. Yeah. So what else have I been up to? Yeah, so okay, again, Bookwalker, K-Manga, Shonen Jump EU, and then Shonen Jump US, Ireland. Yes, so I have those 4 apps that I am using. So I will report back probably in a couple of weeks just to say how the experience has been with all of those apps. So, yes, going back to spring 2026 anime, I have, like I said, written a list of anime that I was really interested in. So first up, I have Marriagetoxin, and this was originally a manga. The art was done by Mizuki Yoda, and the story by Jo Myaku. And I read this actually on the Viz Media app. Yes, 3 or 4 years ago when it just started. I'm pretty sure I also did talk about it in an earlier podcast episode. And I really enjoyed the manga. I remember enjoying it a lot. It has since then finished. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't cancelled. It just ended. But it's a shonen manga. It's about this guy. I think his last name is Gero. He's from the Gero family. It's, how do I describe it? So it's a kind of, okay, so you have this guy. He like I said, he's part of the Gero family, and it's clan of people who specialize in poisons. So they got hired to assassinate people using poison. And so in that way of having a clan, a poison clan, you also have a bug clan and other type of specializations. I just can't think of some of the ones that I've seen. Maybe pressure or water. Anyway, so you have all these specialists who specialize in one particular thing. Now, Gero, he has a sister who has a girlfriend, and they are the heirs of the clan, and so one of them has to have a kid and, you know, continue the family tradition of raising poison assassins, poison specialists. And the thing is that Gero has never really been good at being a human. Social things. Because I mean, he was raised to become an assassin. There wasn't really a lot of help in the department of, learning how to live a regular life. But now the grandmother wants an heir, and so if Gero isn't able to do so, then she's just going to force his sister to do it instead. However, like I said, she has a girlfriend, and she doesn't want to do it. But at this point, it really seems that there's no choice, because either she goes willingly to the family and bear a child, or she gets forced to do so. And so she calls up Gero and she's like, yo, you're not gonna find anyone, so grandma's just gonna make me have a kid, so I'm heading back and I'm breaking up with my girlfriend. And he doesn't want that. When he's getting called, he's in the middle of a mission. He's trying to he got hired by this group of nobodies to assassinate this one swindler. She's a marriage swindler. And so whilst Gero is kind of preparing to assassinate her, they've tied her up and everything, so he's just using his poisons. So when he's doing all of that, she is trying to get him to fall in love with him, or just kind of trick him. And so that happens, and then he gets that call from his sister, and so he proposes this to this marriage swindler: if you can help me find someone that I can marry and have a child with, then I'll spare your life. And so that's how it kind of starts off. And it turns out that this person is actually a guy, and he swindles everybody. And so sometimes he needs to cross-dress in order to pull that off. So that's kind of the story. And so it's kind of not a dating show, but it's this journey of Gero trying to find someone that he can be with, and at the same time he's an assassin and he's fighting all of these specialists and evil people. So that's what the manga is about. I really enjoyed it. There was so much action. The panels are so good. I mean, I haven't read this manga in a good couple of years, but I just really remember enjoying the art as well as the humor. And so I watched the first episode of the anime, and it was good. I enjoyed it. It was a bit slow because, so the story still needed to get set up, and I didn't really see all that much in terms of action scenes. So I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I liked it, and I am quite hopeful that this is going to be a good anime. And I just need to find some time to get back to the app and just read the entire manga as well. It's kind of nice knowing that it's finished, Also because I think sometimes I do kind of get sad to see when a manga or an anime finishes, but then on the other hand it's kind of like, well, why would you want it to go on for so long? Sometimes they're just manga where it serves for it to be shorter, to have an ending, basically, because I don't know how Marriagetoxin ends, but I can imagine that it ends with Gero, finding a person or something. So I'm really excited for that. So that's Marriagetoxin. And then, oh yes. So Dorohedoro has a season 2. Yes! I watched the first season years ago, and it was so good. I really enjoyed it. Din 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 din. Also the this, what is it? The ending songs are so good. I still listen to them. But yes, Dorohedoro. It's a manga that was created by Q Hayashida. She is also the person behind Daidak, which I also need to pick up again. I don't know if there's an English translation out of this at the moment, but I would not be surprised if there was. But yes, what is Dorohedoro all about? It's this dark fantasy story about a guy. So you have people who have powers, I believe, and people who don't. You have these types of sorcerers. It's been a while since I watched this, but this guy, he was turned by a sorcerer into a crocodile being, and now there's a sorcerer living inside the back of his throat. Yeah. And so he's trying to find the sorcerer who did the sorcery on him in order to get turned back into just a normal looking guy. And so in order to find him, he puts people's heads in his mouth, and then you have the guy in there saying, he's not the one, or something like that. And so they're trying to find him, and yeah, it's just really cool, really rugged. I love the scenery of it all, and I should rewatch that and also read the manga. I know that it's also on the one of these apps that I have. Yes, so that's Dorohedoro season 2. Yes, I still want to watch the first season before I get back into it, just because it's been such a long time. So then the next anime is called Hyaki Yakosho, and there's an English title, Beyond Twilight, but there's also another title, Tales of 100 Ghosts Traveling by the Night. And this is based off of a manga by Ichiko Ima, who I'm pretty sure most people don't know, but she is actually a very prolific mangaka, shoujo mangaka, mostly horror. I know that she has a lot of work that was published by Nemuki and Nemuki Plus. This is, yeah, I would say a shoujo mystery / horror magazine. It's also the magazine where Junji Ito's work gets published in. And I don't know about this one though. So this is one of those manga that doesn't have a lot of animation. It's kind of like you have these images drawn, and it's kind of like this type of animation. Yeah, I don't know what you would call it. It has a very distinct style, and also each episode is just 4 minutes. I watched the first episode and I don't know. It's basically about this guy who he has powers or something. There's something going on with with powers, and I believe his father passed away, but his father's body was inhabited by a spirit, and he knows that, but his mother, I believe, doesn't know it. It's really weird. I don't know. I'm not too sure if this anime is going to do justice to her work. I haven't read her work just yet, but it makes me want to do so, just to compare and see how it is, because I think she's a very unique mangaka, or at the very least it's very easy to tell her work. It's very distinct, the way in which she draws characters. So yeah, I think that's just something that I have to figure out myself. So then we have Kujima Utaeba ya Hororo. Kujima, why sing when you can warble? And this is an adaptation of a manga that I read a couple of years back, and the mangaka behind it is Akira Kono. And I found out about this manga through Kono Manga ga Sugoi, that magazine. So, yes, Kono Manga ga Sugoi is a MOOC magazine book that gets published, I believe, at the end of every single year. So what they do is they have this survey and they go around, they ask all people within the industry, as well as just librarians, students, I don't know, kids. They ask them, what is the manga that you're reading? And so they compile a list, one for women, one for men, 20 manga that you should read, that's awesome, that you should keep an eye on. And I'm pretty sure that this manga was on there. I don't know if it was the men's list or the women's list, but yeah, so it's I also kind of watched my old episode that I made talking about this manga as well. Basically, you have this interesting type of bird that a schoolboy finds just as it's looking underneath one of those drinking vending machines for money, and they get to talking, which is already strange. And the kid is also kind of like, oh, this bird talks. And so they get to talking, and so the bird tells the kid, my name is Kujima. And after that, they get to talking. He just wants to try out Japanese food, so this kid brings him back home, and he ends up staying there. So Kujima is, I believe, a 3-year-old bird. He's so cute. He's a 3-year-old bird, and he's from Russia. I don't know what happened again to him, but he ended up getting found by this Russian guy, and that guy raised him. And then at some point he was like, okay, I think you need to leave this quote unquote nest and, I don't know, find your own people, go to Japan, where your people are as well, I think. So yeah, he ends up in Japan, and he just wants to experience Japanese food. And yeah, they kind of strike up a friendship. And the manga, I read the first volume, and there are 5 in total. The manga ended back in April 2024, so it's been 2 years now since it has finished being serialized. And it was good. It was really fun. It was really wholesome. I watched the first 5 minutes, I believe, of the first episode of the anime, and it was good. I liked it a lot. I was busy knitting, and I had to focus a bit more on what I was doing, so I wasn't able to continue watching. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe because I'm getting older, but sometimes, like, these wholesome type of anime just make me want to cry. So I'm just seeing Kujima, and like all of the all of the memories from when I read the manga first came back, and I was just like, I was just crying, even though nothing had happened just yet. I was just, oh my god. So yeah, I just have to sit back, relax, and just, I think, just watch it in one go. So I'm gonna hold off for the next, I guess at this point, 2 months. I'm pretty sure it's 12 episodes. Yeah, and there are only 2 episodes that are out now. So 10 more weeks. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can't resist and I'll start watching it weekly. So that's Kujima. Utaeba Hororo. Hello, this is a quick interruption to say that if you do enjoy the content that I make on this channel and you would like to support me by, for instance, helping me get more manga, then you can do so via my Ko-fi page. A link is in the description box below. Now back to the episode. Then I have Ganbare Nakamura-kun! Go for it, Nakamura. And this was created by Shunde. Yes, Shunde. So this is actually a boys' love manga originally that has been adapted. I have it here. I literally saw it today. Yeah, where is it? I found it. I also found in my movie and board game cabinet a lost packet of cookies, chocolate cookies. So if my mouth looks a bit black, it's because of that. But yes, so here is Go For It Nakamura by Shunde. And this is a boys' love manga. I read this several years ago. And I was surprised to find that there's actually an anime about this. I think it's very interesting to see how, I don't know, I feel like there's an increase of LGBTQ plus characters in appearing in anime. I was surprised that this one got an adaptation. And also, I mean, you have this one, like I said, in Marriagetoxin. You had Gero Sister, who is a lesbian, and then also, of course, the summer Hikaru died. So that is really nice to see. I do want to say though, I don't really like calling things boys' love. Not necessarily. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't like the negative connotation that comes with me reading boys' love, or saying that I am reading boys' love, because I've made, I think at this point, 2 videos about it on my original channel, but I've received criticism for reading a manga like this. And you know, when you read manga in Japanese, the type of perceptions, or yeah, the type of perception of categories of manga is quite different. And also, I don't know, I feel like there's a bit more nuance in it, also because everything that gets to the West or to the English readership of manga, there is a certain type of lens through which it gets, how would I say, published. Because I mean, it's there's a selection of things, right? Everything that was created in Japan is available in Japan, but we only get a fraction of that amount of work. And there are people higher up who are deciding which manga gets an English translation, or there are scanlation groups as well. This is a very wholesome manga. It's about this kid in high school. His name is Nakamura, and he has a crush on one of his classmates. And so the manga and the anime are both about him just trying to get a bit closer to him, trying to become his friend. And he has all these different types of techniques that he uses, or strategies. And the thing is that he's just very shy. And so, yeah, the comedy comes from him being very introverted and shy and kind of embarrassing himself whilst trying to get closer to this guy. So yes, I wanted to reread it before getting into the anime, but I ended up watching 2 episodes and I really enjoyed it a lot. I remember not even liking this manga all that much when it came out, but for some reason, the anime, I feel, when I'm comparing my previous opinion to the anime that I've just watched, it was better. I enjoyed it more, I think. So that definitely made me more interested in actually reading this one again and having a fresh perception of the work. Shinde has also written another or created another manga. I can't remember the name of that, but I read that one as well. I think right when it was getting published by Viz or Seven Seas, Seven Seas, yes. And I did not like that one. I think it was not this type of slice of life thing, but a bit of, I guess, horror fantasy type thing, and it was a weird type of age gap, underage boy, older man type thing. Don't quote me on that, but I remember there being some elements about the story that made me a bit uncomfortable, so I didn't really enjoy that one all that much. But yes, the anime of this one would recommend if you just want a type of slice of life, wholesome type story. Then there is another adaptation of a manga that I read several years ago. It's Akane-banashi, and this is a shonen manga. I don't know if it's still running. Maybe I can check that. Oh yeah, it's still running. 21 volumes. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a typical Shonen Jump title in the sense that loads and loads of volumes and chapters coming out. But I have read this manga and have enjoyed what I read. So the art is being made by Takamasa Moe, and the story is written by Yuki Suenaga. It's a shonen manga, but the main character is actually a girl. Her name is Akane, and her father, when she was growing up, he was training to become a rakugo performer. So rakugo is a form of traditional Japanese, would you call it, theater? So basically it's one person who is sitting down and then he tells a comedy and then he does all of the characters basically. So I guess, well, I don't want to compare it to that because that's quite different. I was going to say it kind of reminded me of Cynthia Erivo doing, I don't know, Dracula or something, and she's the only one on stage and doing all these different voices. But yes, so it's a traditional form of Japanese theater storytelling. And I read it at a time when, right before I actually went to Japan, and I mean, I was following Japanese courses and I really tried my best to get involved with all sorts of things within Japanese tradition. I ended up at my municipality's cultural webpage and I was just trying to do all these types of cultural things, and eventually, actually via my university, I got to see kabuki in real life, which was great. I actually watched it twice. It was really, really interesting to watch it. If you ever go to Japan, I would highly recommend going to one of these traditional type of performances. They're very interesting, and if you read up a bit about the story beforehand, it's quite doable to understand it, because I also went with some people who didn't speak Japanese. But going back to the story, I think what ended up happening was that her father and the other people that he was training with, they got expelled or thrown out of the school, I think because the higher up didn't think that he was good enough. And so now Akane is a bit older. I believe she's in high school now. and now she has applied to become a rakugo storyteller. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the anime. I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do, how many episodes they're going to be, how long it's going to run. I mean, there are 21 volumes of this, so if the anime does as well as the manga has been doing, because it's been receiving a lot of awards and nominations, then I think this is going to be a long running anime. Yeah, so that's Akane-banashi. I still have 3 more anime that I was interested in. I have Tongari Boshi no Atelier, Witch Hat Atelier, and this is a seinen manga that is being created by Kamui Shirahama, and I believe it has 15 volumes already. It's been running for about 10 years at this point, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and I've been getting a lot of TikTok edits of this one guy, this very fancy guy, not the sub but the dub, and he has a very posh British accent, I believe. So I don't know too much about that, so I'm just going to let myself be surprised by it. Same goes for this one, Yomi no Tsugai, Demons of the Shadow Realm, and this one is also an ongoing manga, I believe, by Hiromu Arakawa, the person who did Full Metal Alchemist. I watched one episode of Full Metal Alchemist several years ago, and then I don't know. So basically, right at the start of the anime of Full Metal Alchemist, you have the 2 boys, and they are doing some alchemy. Was it to revive someone? I don't know anymore, but I just remember that the boy, one of them, was evaporating or was getting deleted. And you can see like his skin was peeling off, not in a very rancid way or graphic way, but there's just something about how it was peeling and disappearing that gave me the ick, and I stopped. I know that sounds very silly, but yeah, that's just what happened. I've given up on series for less, but I feel some with those types of things, it's just me kind of also not being in the mood for it, and then knowing that I will eventually get back to it, because there's so many manga, there's so much anime that I still want to watch and I just haven't had the time, or that I've been interested in and I've read a bit. I've kind of dipped my toe into the world and just thought, you know what, I'll get back to it at a later time. Berserk is also one of those things. I mean, I've watched, I think, all of the Berserk anime, the movies, the original run of the anime, which is amazing. It's so good. And also the very, very bad one that was from, I don't know, 2017, 16. Yes, but I actually haven't read the manga, all of the manga. I felt that I just wanted to read that one in Japanese and didn't think that at the time I had the skills for it. But yeah, getting back to this anime, I don't know anything about it. It was recommended to me by my friend, so I'll give it a shot. Then the last one is actually a shoujo anime, and it was originally a light novel that then got a manga adaptation and now has an anime adaptation. So the story is by Kana Akatsuki and the art is by Suo. And yeah, there's a manga adaptation that is, I think, still running in Lala. I'm not too sure. But the name is Shinkanshu to Daikosha Haru no Mai. So, Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring. And I watched the trailer. I wasn't too sure what exactly happened, but it seems like you have these agents, these people who represent the 4 different seasons, and then one of them leaves them or gets kidnapped. Something happens, one of them separates, and then that's all I know. So I don't know. I was confused when I watched the trailer, but probably that's just my bad. But I'm still willing to give that a shot. Yeah. So those are all of the anime. Then, yeah, I have a wish list of anime that I want to get. But also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but basically I said that if there's a time that Bookwalker does a sale, again, not sponsored, I wanted to get some manga that was on my wish list, and I thought it would be fun just to add this tiny shopping spree at the end of the episode. So I have given myself, well, I need to convert the money. I have given myself 3,000 yen. Which is about 17 euros, to get a couple of digital manga. So, what, maybe $18, $19? So, the nice thing with Bookwalker is that they often do these types of coin back schemes. So, what happens is that you spend 1,000 yen on one manga volume, and then they give you a percentage of what you paid back in terms of coins into your account, and then you can spend those coins again on other manga, and then you get the coins back, and then that kind of goes until you have no coins left. Yes, and these coins also expire, and that's kind of the tricky thing, because I lost quite a bit of coins when I stopped reading manga. I just didn't log in, and I didn't just, I don't know, buy some of the things that are on my wish list. But yeah, I'm going to go to my account, and then I have wish listed things over the years. So if I just go to my wish list, I can see which ones have that coin back system thing. So yeah, let's head over to Bookwalker. Okay, so we are on the Bookwalker website, and as stated in the corner, it says Matome kaide otoku 40% coin kangen. So 40% back, coin back, to be specific. I am rank C at the moment because I haven't purchased a lot of manga. I have 5 coins because, when was this? A couple of weeks ago, I was looking into, what's the name of it again? Feel Young, and I wanted to know if I could see in the back of one of the manga whether or not it was published by or whether or not the manga appeared in Feel magazine or Feel Young magazine, but it didn't help. Also, we have here, how do I say this? Ninki no Muroi Denshi Kaku. I don't know what that means, but it's basically just popular free manga. So sometimes they'll have free manga here for a limited amount of time, which is great as well. But usually it's just the first volume of a manga series, just to kind of get you hooked, so that you try out things. They also have old things, and then that old manga that has been digitized. I remember this. This is a shonen manga written by, I believe, a female mangaka. I'm not too sure who did this. Yeah, it was made by Shinichi Koga, and this was not a female mangaka, but he wrote or created a lot of shoujo horror manga. That's why I know his name, but apparently Eko Eko Azaraku was really popular. Yeah, I remember. I think this work actually showed up in one of the MOOCs, oh yeah, book magazines that I have about horror manga, shoujo horror manga. Okay, detour. We're getting back to the important stuff. So I'm going to check to my checklist, and these are just manga that I have said, oh, I'm interested in getting these. So then we go over here and then coin up or seru. So seru and coin up. Yeah. Okay. So I said I had 3,000 yen, right? So I think the first one that I definitely want to get is this one, the Sharakuna. Yeah, Sharakuna. So this is a shoujo horror manga. I think I spoke about this in the previous episode, but I have the first volume and I'm pretty sure I finished reading that. And this is actually the last volume because this manga finished a couple of years ago. If I have 3,000 yen and I pay 780 yen because I don't have to pay taxes because I'm not in Japan, so at checkout that gets taken off. So I get half of that in terms of coins. Or no? Huh? Oh, this is even... Coin campaign. So it's 60% back. Okay, well, let me just get to the 3,000 yen. So I have Sharakuna or Sharakuna. I don't know where the emphasis is on. Yeah, so we have here, what do we have? Migi to Dari. I watched that anime. It was created by the same person who did Haven't You Heard Sakamoto, and they passed away. Really, really freaking sad. I watched the anime and then in the end there was an in memoriam. So sad. Oh yes, of course. I think I kind of know where I want to put my money. I am going to get this manga right here. Oh, I think I just want things that are one-shots or something that I can finish. And that brings me to Hanazono ni Miki ga Tatsu. Yeah, so this is a Hata manga about this boy. So basically there's this girls' school and this is the first year that they are opening the school up to boys. And I think he's the only guy who decides that he's going to accept the invitation to go to the school, also because he's on a scholarship there and he also has a job that he needs to have to sustain himself. So yeah, I don't know how many chapters I have read of this manga because I do have a lot of Hata magazines. This is one big sale where you could get the magazines for a very good price. So, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go for the first volume and then 2 and 3 as well. Just so that I can support the mangaka. They have a new work out and I found it online in one of those types of K-manga style not apps, but just online, that type of payment scheme. And now I think the first volume is about to come out soon. Let me have a look actually. So Yukie Nozawa. Yes, here, this one. Okasari Hime no Mero Mero Keikaku. I'm pretty sure that the first volume is set to come out really soon. Yeah, so we are here on the Kadokawa website, and ooh, yes, in a month. It's set to come out in a month. But yeah, like I said, it's also being released online. Yeah, here. So on the Comic Walker website, I can't show the manga here, I'm afraid. And then, so here you can read the first chapter, and then they're like, yeah, the rest is basically done. You can't read that, which is strange. Like, is there not another way? See if you can maybe pay for it. Maybe I'll try and see if I can get the app and see if I can get it there. But yeah, so you know what? I am going to get all three of these. Yeah, so ooh, are they growing up? They look a bit older here. Ugh, I hate when you kind of get spoiled by the cover, but that was not really a spoiler. Okay, so we have here the 3 volumes of Hanazono ni Miki ga Tatsu, and that costs 2,300 yen. Coin back is 1,380. So what I'll end up with after this purchase is 2,080 yen left. Okay, so let me just pay for this. Okay. So yes, so now I have enough to buy the Sarakuna manga. Yes, so that is 2,080 yen minus 780, which is 1,300 yen I have left. So let's go back to check. And then, you know what? Let me just go to sale only and then see which ones have coin back, because I think that's the smartest thing strategically. Not much. Not many. Yeah. What do I do now? Also, I should kind of remind myself that I don't have to spend everything in one go. If there's something, or if there's nothing that really piques my interest and is applicable, then, you know, I don't have to get it. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go to my list of manga that I already have. No, actually, I think the best thing to do is just go to my follow list here and then look at which ones have coin back schemes. Well, the thing is, almost everything has a coin back scheme, because if there's something that you can put a reservation on, you get more coin back. So just have to check. No, okay, so that's not the case with Beloved. How about Bonita Comics? You also have Besatsu comic tint. Am I even allowed to look at comic tint? So here's also this thing, one thing that I don't like about Japan, well, not about Japan, but about this website is that so, this is josei romance, and there are some of these magazines that I can't read without a Japanese VPN, which is really, really annoying. So I've been considering getting the ones that I need a VPN for, just buying them physically. But yeah, it seems here there's no dice. No dice. Yeah. Do 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 do. Okay, what if I just go and look here? Oh, Golden Kamui. I've read all of them in English. What? I thought they were gonna show everything going back. You know what? I think I should just get the Kono Manga ga Sugoi book. Kono Manga ga Sugoi. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the 2026. Oh, they stopped putting people on the cover. It's 1,000 yen now. 909. You only get 9 back. I mean, this is something I think I'm gonna use so very soon, so I am okay with getting this without a discount. Okay, so I have the Kono Manga ga Sugoi 2026 edition and Sarakuna's last volume. Together, that is going to be 1,689 yen, and I get 477 yen back. So, what's that? I'll have about 800, 900 yen worth of coins left, and I'm fine with that. Yes, but yes, so I ended up spending 14 euros and 69 cents, which is actually, ideally I wanted it to be 15 euros, and then I saw that is about 2,800 yen. So I actually stayed within the initial budget that I had, which I'm really happy with. So yeah, less than 15 euros, and I have about 477 yen worth of coins left in my account for the next time. In total, I got 4 volumes of manga that complete 2 series that I had been reading previously. And I got the Kono Manga ga Sugoi MOOC, which has interviews and the ranking. So I will definitely be able to find good new manga in that magazine. Looking forward to it. Okay, so that's that. Then finally, I just want to mention a couple of things that I saw on anilist.co. Yeah, so some fun things for me. First up, I found out that Mashle season 3 is coming out next year, so that's really fun to look forward to. I watched the first season when I was in Japan, and I really enjoyed it. I had previously read the manga up until as far as I could at that time. It's finished now, apparently. So I have loads of material there to go through. And what else? Oh yeah, Golden Kamui. The final season is coming out or has come out. I finished reading that manga years ago. Oh, it's one of my favorites. Yes. It's so fun. And it's a great series. I love that it's history. I love that it's adventurous. I love that it's what else? It's handsome men doing cool stuff. One of my favorite characters is Ogata. I know he's a bad guy, but still. Anyway, yeah, so that's really interesting and fun to look forward to watching. I think I'm gonna rewatch everything from season 1. And then, oh, brutal. Satsujinki Satsuka no Kokuhaku. It is still on hiatus. So, just a quick recap. You have this manga called Trace, and this is a manga about a forensic analyst, I believe, and I think his family got killed. Anyway, that's a very interesting manga. I had difficulties reading the Japanese one just because there are so many technical terms in there. It stopped being fun because it just took so long to get through. So I've been looking for an English translation, and there is an official one. However, it's again on one of those K manga websites. That's kind of the hard thing. I don't know whether it's worth paying for every single chapter because I think it's actually quite expensive on the particular website Trace is on, or I should just brush up on my Japanese and just read the Japanese version, of which I have, I think, 1 or 2 volumes already. But yeah, so you have Trace, and then you have a spin-off called Brutaru. Satsujinki Satsuka no Kokuhaku. And this is about, I believe, the police chief, Dan Hiroki? Haruki? What's his name? Yeah, Dan Hiroki. Oh, what a it's a horror. Oh, it has ended. I'm just seeing now that it has ended. Oh no. So the person who was drawing it is Ryo Izawa. And so Trace is a manga by Kei Koga, and Izawa was drawing the spin-off whilst Koga was doing the story. But they got sick and the manga went on hiatus, and I think I picked it up right when it went on hiatus, so I thought, oh, probably maybe a year or a couple of months, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they are able to come back to it. And so, looking on AniList, it says that it's cancelled, unfortunately. But there is a sequel now. I found this out 2 weeks ago. And I kind of, I don't know, parked it in the back of my head, but I was seeing it just now on the website that I had put it on planning, and it's releasing now. So it's called Doom Satsujin Keisatsukan no Danzai Roku. It started in November of last year. Ooh, okay. This is time for me to get back into this because I loved Brutal. It was so good. Dan was hot. Okay, before so basically, yeah, so you have Trace, which is about this forensic investigator researcher, and then you have Dan Hiroki, who is the police chief. And he looks like a cool guy, and what turns out is that he's kind of a Dexter type of figure. So he kills people, but he kills bad people. And he's handsome doing it. Yeah. It's a good manga. So I'm excited for Doom. I am. Yeah. He looks a bit different. So now there are 3 people who have drawn Dan Hiroki. And I think At this moment, the one I like the most is the brutal version, but Doom actually looks quite good as well. But oh wait, maybe I can. Okay, I can wait. Maybe I. I'm short-circuiting. I need to see if I can get some of these pages. Let me just see where I can read this. Okay, so... Oh, you can also send a fan letter. I love that. Okay, so there are 11 chapters out. And the first 5 are for free? Let's see. Okay, so the first 3 are for free, and then the last of the last 5, 4 are for free. Okay. So how does this work? How do you get points? Is there anything else I wanted to say? Nope. I think that's, well, yes. No, not really. Well, okay, so I picked up this manga from my bookcase. So this is called Jigoku de Mesu ga Hikaru. And I think this is Ryoko Taka. Let me look this up. Kude Mesu ga Hikaru. Which, by the way, this means in hell the scalpel shines, I think. Yeah, Ryoko Takashina. Shina, that's this character. Yeah. So by Ryoko Takashina, Jigoku de Mesu ga Hikaru. So this is about this guy. He's kind of like a Frankenstein figure. I believe this girl used to be quote unquote ugly, and then I don't know if she wanted to end her life. She jumped off of some place, and then he took her body parts and then turned her into something beautiful. Oh wait, there's a translated synopsis here. Hiromi is mistreated by her family because of her naturally ugly appearance. Unable to bear her situation, she attempts to end her life, but is rescued in the nick of time by a genius doctor, Iwao Toshiaki, and is exposed to human kindness for the first time. However, Iwao is trying to use Hiromi's brain to enter the realm of the divine, which is inaccessible to humans. It's a one-shot. It's from the 70s. It ran from June 3rd, 1972 until September 3rd, 1972. And I think it's because of Nakayoshi's 60th anniversary a couple of years back that they republished this piece. So that's interesting. Perhaps I will talk about it more in the next episode. In any case, I think that's it for me this time around. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye bye!